When you open up Instagram and you look at online coaching, it seems like the dream life. You can live anywhere in the world, all of your income is remote, you don't have a boss telling you what to do. However, there is a little bit of a dark side to getting into online coaching that most people don't really tell you about, especially when you're doing education online to try and learn how to get clients and to actually deliver a good service. Nobody really talks about the actual effects that starting a business like this can have on you as a person. And if you're watching this right now and you're just starting out your online coaching business, then you're probably feeling a little bit confused, lost, overwhelmed, and pulled in different directions because you're getting targeted from people's ads on YouTube and on Instagram telling you that, no, this strategy is the best way to do it. Ads are going to be the thing that makes your business successful. You need to post this sort of content, and ultimately you just don't actually know who to listen to or what to do. And on top of that, you're also seeing a bunch of people online doing really, really well and wondering, well, what are they doing that I'm not? It might even be that you're a more experienced coach and can give more value and advice to your audience. I'm going to actually explain the dark side of online coaching in this video so that you can avoid the mental health pit that I see a lot of online coaches getting themselves into. Because an actual stat, and this isn't just something that I'm pulling out my ass, 99% of online coaches fail. They don't make it. That means only 1 in 100 personal trainers actually make it to becoming an online coach when they try. Now, that certainly isn't the stats for the people that we work with. We've helped hundreds of people transition their business online, but I think that's because we actually do give them the dark side, and we actually do reveal the unexpected negatives of starting a business like this ahead of time so that they know how to deal with those problems. And that's what I'm going to do in this video for you today. When I first got into online coaching, I paid a business mentor £6,000 to teach me how to grow my business. Now, I was going at it for a few months. I was posting content, I was reaching out to people, but I wasn't really getting any clients. And I didn't really understand how to make my content and marketing hit in the way that I needed it to. And actually, from the mentor that I purchased the program from, I would see constant marketing from him saying that his client had reached $10,000 per month in 3 weeks of being inside the program, and they need to get this, or we need to buy into this system that he's got. And he would market that, and I would be like, hey, I need to do that system, and I need to use it because then I will get the same results as the client. But then I would also think, oh wait, I'm already in the program, I've already bought the system, so why aren't I getting the results? And I just sort of plodded along for a while, but eventually it got too much, enough was enough. I had to go to the mentor and ask him, hey, look, I'm here doing the same stuff that you're telling these other people to do, and you're saying that I need to use this special fancy system, so why isn't this working for me? Because I feel like I'm doing this. And do you know what he turned around to me and said? He said, Tom, stop buying into my marketing. And up until that point, I don't think I'd really got that much value out of the mentorship. Of course, he taught me the bread and butter, but it was that statement alone that really, really taught me what marketing actually is and how it should actually work and how bold you need to be to actually make a stance in the market. Now, obviously, you've got to back up those bold statements with great claims. And thankfully, a few months later in the mentorship that I was in, I hit my first 10K month. And I went on to work with that mentor for many more years after that. The reason why my progress wasn't as fast, and if you're in mentorships at the moment, or if you're trying to do this, the reason why your progress might not be as fast isn't necessarily because of the marketing. It comes down to you. So I want to help you manage your overwhelm, confusion, and perhaps frustration around actually getting your business started and growing. Because before we can get you to do any actions to grow your business, such as posting content, doing sales systems, getting clients on board consistently, we actually have to focus on making sure that you and your state is managed. So I'm going to teach you how to think to make sure that you don't self-destruct from a mental standpoint. I'm going to give you 3 core things to implement so that you can save yourself from these states that people get themselves in, where they just get into a complete hole of depression and don't end up actually growing their business because they're too paralyzed by that anxiety and the feeling of inadequacy to actually even make progress. The first step I'm going to give you is perhaps the most important thing I'll say throughout this whole video, and that's that when you're on social media, when you're watching reels, when you're seeing people's stories, you need to consume as a creator and not consume as a consumer. And the reason for this is because if you can consciously consume content, you can actually get benefits from being on Instagram and scrolling for reels, seeing trends, seeing what's going on in kind of like social media culture. You can feed that into your own marketing and you can actually use that to grow your own presence and your own business. But if you're there as a consumer, what's happening is you're letting all the little emotional triggers throughout people's content, throughout the platform's features affect you and hold you, which causes you to just go into this hole. And it's honestly not in your control. It's up to social media. It's up to like the algorithm and whatever you are kind of looking at. It's designed to keep you on the platform. You don't understand how intelligent social media platform codes and algorithms actually are. It's all designed to literally brainwash you to stay on the app, scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And the reason for that is because social media companies like Instagram make more money the more you're on the app because they target ads to you. Right? That's how they get paid. Companies pay Instagram and Facebook because you're scrolling to show you ads. So it's all designed at your disadvantage. Let's just be honest. It's a complete disadvantage. Now that means you need to consciously consume and be extra aware of what you're actually putting into your brain. And that leads us straight into the next point, which is down to something that I bet we've all done. I've done it. You've done it. Sydney, you've probably done it at some point. It's comparison. This is comparing yourself to people that you see online. It is the biggest killer of joy. And I know that that's such a cliche thing to say, but the reason why comparison is literally a thief of joy is because when you're feeling grateful for something and when you're feeling joyful about your life and your environment or your individual or your relationships or your body or your business, you can go onto Instagram and you can see somebody else doing slightly better or way better, and that just takes the joy out of your situation because you're seeing what you could have. Now, I've got so many different points to actually manage your emotions and consciousness around comparison, but the main one is this. You need to weaponize comparison. And what I mean by that is if you can withdraw your emotions from comparing yourself to other people and not let it affect your state, you can use this as a weapon. You can use this to your advantage because ultimately you've got two choices when you see somebody doing something better than you. You can say, okay, they're doing better than me, I'm sad. Or you can ask yourself, they're doing better than me or they're further along in a certain journey that I'm going through. How is that? What steps have they took to get there? Because there's absolutely no reason that your body couldn't be the way that you want it to be. There's absolutely no reason that your business couldn't be earning the amount of money that you want it to earn. There's absolutely no reason that you couldn't be sat in Thailand or in Dubai or wherever the hell you want to go. I don't really care where it is that you want to go. Maybe you just want to have like more time with your family at home. Maybe it's just that you don't want to have to go into work. Like those things can be a reality. You can have autonomy. You can be your own person. And here's another perspective on comparison which really helped me when I was in a tough spot comparing all sorts of things to other people that I would see on social media, my body, my business. And that's that you are never, and I mean never, ever going to experience the perception of another human being. It is impossible. For all you know, this reality, everything that you see around you in your room, the video that you're watching right now of me, it could all just be a simulation spawned in by your own brain. You don't know that. You don't know that this is even real. I know it sounds like ridiculous, but that's genuinely a reality. Like scientists have literally broke down the fact that we could. This isn't a conspiracy theory channel, Sydney, is it? No. But scientists have literally broke down that we could actually be living in a simulation. Like, there's actually quite a high chance that like none of this is real anyway. So all you can do is be in your own head and be in your own perception and affect your world positively. And guess what? The world will come back around and give you positivity in return. That's what I've found anyway. And I know it sounds like a little bit hippy-dippy, a little bit woo-woo, but look, we're in Bali right now, so I guess we're feeling that way.
Got the energy going.
We've got the energy going. But seriously, you're never going to be able to step into somebody else's body or brain and experience what they're experiencing. You're never going to be able to live somebody else's life. So you just have to optimize your own life and focus on your own reality to move forward. And lastly, this is something that I do almost on a weekly basis at this point, and that's an information detox. And I don't mean switching off from social media. I don't mean traditionally locking your phone away and not going on Instagram or going on Facebook or going on YouTube. But what I really mean is take the pressure off yourself for just a few hours to learn about online coaching and learn about growing your business and how to get clients. And just stop reading into everybody's opinion. Stop clicking on every single ad that you see and take a step back to let your brain sort of decompress. You see, your thoughts have to mold, they have to develop, you have to give things time. When people say that they need to sleep on something, that's because we need to process information. It's not like this bullshit thing that people say it is in sales, where it's like, hey, you don't need to think about anything, just buy my thing. No, people sometimes do actually need to think things through in order to form an opinion on something. My thoughts change almost on a daily basis, and that's a good thing. You need to allow your mind to change around certain topics and really start to form solid beliefs around what you believe is actually going to work, because then when you go back into your work, you're going to act with conviction. And the person who's doing things slightly wrong, but they're doing it with full conviction and confidence, will get further than the person who's trying to perfect whatever they're trying to do, whether that be content. I've done this a lot recently, tried to be really perfect in YouTube videos, tried to say everything to a T. I've even tried to film this video a bunch of times myself, but in the end, I've just got to say what I'm going to say and let it all out there. And ultimately, that's how you need to act. And the information detox is going to allow you to do that more effectively, because then you're not working based off the opinions of others online. You're not being pulled in loads of different directions. You've not got these confusing thoughts going into your brain while you're trying to do content or reach out to people or work with your clients. You're not distracted. You can be present. You can achieve a flow state. I'd also recommend picking one or two creators that you really resonate with and give you solid information around growing your business, and only listening to those people. I know that sounds counterintuitive, because surely the more points of views and the more bits of information that you've got, the easier it's going to be to grow your coaching business and the faster you're going to learn. The path that will get you to where you want to be is the path that you stick to. Does that make sense? There is no right or wrong path. It's whichever path that you stick to will you see out and actually get to the finish line and get the reward. And that's all from me, folks. Subscribe if you liked it. See you in a bit.